10 processed foods you should never eat. It's easy to get confused about which foods are healthy and which aren't. You generally want to avoid certain foods if you want to lose weight and prevent chronic illnesses. You might not think of the supermarket as a food trap, but between the cookie and frozen food aisles, you might be leaving the store with foods that do more harm than good despite all of your good intentions. So before your next trip to the grocery store, you might want to check out these 10 processed foods that are generally unhealthy, although most people can eat them in moderation on special occasions without any permanent damage to their health. Bacon. Bacon is made from pork, although you can also find similar products like turkey bacon. Bacon typically goes through a curing process, during which the meat is soaked in a solution of salt, nitrates, and sometimes sugar. In most cases, the bacon is smoked afterward. Curing and smoking are ways to preserve the meat, but these processing methods also contribute to the characteristic taste of bacon and help preserve its red color. Adding salt and nitrates makes the meat an unfriendly environment for bacteria to grow. As a result, bacon has a much longer shelf life than fresh pork. Bacon is a processed meat, but the amount of processing and the ingredients used vary between manufacturers. Bacon recipes are sweeping the blogosphere, like the famously fatty bacon explosion appetizer recipe. Fast food chains are peddling double bacon burgers, and upscale restaurants are wrapping steaks in bacon, even adding it to chic desserts. Although there's no arguing that bacon is a tasty treat, what about all that fat, sodium, and cholesterol? The fats in bacon are about 50% monounsaturated, and a large part of those is oleic acid. This is the same fatty acid that olive oil is praised for and generally considered heart healthy. Then about 40% is saturated fat, accompanied by a decent amount of cholesterol. The remaining fat in bacon is 40% saturated and 10% polyunsaturated, accompanied by a decent amount of cholesterol. Dietary cholesterol was a concern in the past, but scientists now agree that it has minor effects on cholesterol levels in your blood. In contrast, the health effects of saturated fat are highly controversial. Many health professionals are convinced that a high intake of saturated fat is a major cause of heart disease. Granola bar. Granola bars make on-the-go eating efficient, but are they actually healthy? Usually not, even though most people think so. A 2016 New York Times survey of about 2,000 Americans and 672 nutritionists revealed that while more than 70% of Americans described granola bars as healthy, less than a third of nutritional experts agreed. People think they're healthy because they're often made with grains, which are high in fiber, and contain protein-rich nuts and dried fruit. But despite their health halo, many granola bars are full of added sugar, coated in chocolate and dressed up with a little protein powder, making them nothing more than a glorified candy bar. Granola bars are often highly processed and contain added sugar, artificial sweeteners, and sugar alcohols, which can negatively impact health. Dried fruit. Dried fruit is fruit that has had almost all of the water content removed through drying methods. The fruit shrinks during this process, leaving a small, energy-dense dried fruit. Raisins are the most common type, followed by dates, prunes, figs, and apricots. Other varieties of dried fruit are also available, sometimes in candied form, sugar-coated. These include mangoes, pineapples, cranberries, bananas, and apples. Dried fruit can be preserved for much longer than fresh fruit and can be a handy snack, particularly on long trips where refrigeration is not available. Sure, reaching for dried fruit is better than reaching for gummy bears, but be careful. Even small portions of dried fruit can be loaded with sugar and unwanted calories. Flavored nuts. Flavored nuts have come a long way from the regular salted and unsalted options. Nowadays you can find anything from wasabi to chocolate to Cajun. No matter the flavor, the reason we find these seasoned, pre-packaged nuts so delicious is because they have added salt and sugar. Fruit snacks. A fruit snack is a sweet confectionery snack food marketed to parents as a snack for children in the United States. Fruit snacks are very similar to gummy candies. 1. The main content is sugar, especially refined sugar derived from concentrated white grape juice and apple juice. 1. Some fruit snacks have more sugar than gummy candies, and they usually have less protein. 2. Therefore, fruit snacks are really just gummies disguised as healthy snacks. The main differences between gummy candies and fruit snacks are the marketing and advertising approaches, and the use of refined sugar extracted from tapioca or fruit juice in addition to, or sometimes instead of, refined sugar extracted from sugar beets, corn, or sugarcane. Fruit snacks gained popularity from their convenience, candy-like taste, and marketing that positioned the product as being healthier than candy. Most are stored in disposable plastic packaging that does not need to be refrigerated, therefore, they can be taken virtually anywhere. However, they do have an expiration date. Fruit snacks vary in the amount of fruit content. Some, like Welch's, contain some fruit purees. 3. Others only have trace amounts of juice, in addition to sugar. Fruit snacks come in many varieties, but most are loaded with added sugar, corn syrup, and modified cornstarch. These snacks can elevate your glucose level, and diabetics need to steer clear of them. Margarine, food product made principally from one or more vegetable or animal fats or oils in which is dispersed an aqueous portion containing milk products, either solid or fluid, salt, and such other ingredients as flavoring agents, yellow food pigments, emulsifiers, preservatives, vitamins A and D, and butter. It is used in cooking and as a spread. Nutritionally, margarine is primarily a source of calories. French chemist H. Meg Maurice developed margarine in the late 1860s and was given recognition in Europe and a patent in the United States in 1873. His manufacturing method was simplified in the United States into a process in which the melted fat blend was churned with milk and salt, chilled to solidify the mixture, kneaded to a plastic consistency, and packaged, all by means of the standard butter working equipment of the time. The edible fats used in margarine have varied widely, the trend having been from the animal fats predominant in early use to the vegetable fats, principally cottonseed, soybean, coconut, peanut, and corn oils, and, more recently, palm oil. During the late 1950s, an increased interest in the relation of polyunsaturated fats and oils to health hastened the shift to corn, safflower, and sunflower oils as the fat ingredients of margarine. Whale oil has been widely used in Europe but was never common in the United States. But not all margarines are created equal, some margarines contain trans fat. In general, the more solid the margarine, the more trans fat it contains. So stick margarines usually have more trans fat than tub margarines do. Trans fat, like saturated fat, increases blood cholesterol levels and the risk of heart disease. Microwave popcorn. Microwave popcorn is a convenience food consisting of unpopped popcorn in an enhanced, sealed paper bag intended to be heated in a microwave oven. In addition to the dried corn, the bags typically contain cooking oil with sufficient saturated fat to solidify at room temperature, one or more seasonings, often salt, and natural or artificial flavorings or both. With the many different flavors, there are many different providers. With microwave popcorn, all the problems lie inside the bag. As kernels are popped in the microwave, PFCs break down into perfluorooctanoic acid, a toxic chemical that is widely thought to cause cancer. It enters the bloodstream and take a long time before it eventually leaves the body. Ketchup. Ketchup is America's favorite condiment and can be found in 97% of kitchens across the country. But you may be surprised to learn that this ubiquitous accompaniment to French fries wasn't born in the US, nor did it contain any tomatoes. Instead, ketchup has its origins in China and began as a pickled fish sauce. After a few hundred years and several different versions, the ketchup we know and love today was created. The word ketchup is derived from the Chinese word siap, meaning a pickled fish sauce. This mixture was mainly added to recipes to season a dish, versus served as a condiment. It is believed that this fish sauce made its way from Vietnam to the southeastern part of China, where it became a standard food item. From there, it traveled to Malaysia and Indonesia, where its name morphed into ketchup and ketchup respectively. Here, 17th-century English sailors discovered the delights of this Chinese seasoning and brought it west, where cooks tried to replicate the dark sauce. The good thing about ketchup is that it is much lower in calories than some other condiments, such as mayonnaise. It also contains far less fat than mayo, and it does provide some lycopene, an antioxidant that helps prevent multiple health problems. Unfortunately, the bad far outweighs the good. Ketchup is often packed with sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and salt. While a single tablespoon of ketchup may not be too bad, piling on the ketchup could easily result in overloading on sodium. Soda. Drinking soda is like drinking liquid candy. Seriously. Sodas are sugary calorie bombs that have contributed to the obesity epidemic in our country, and our soda habit has also been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers, premature aging, and hormone disruption. Most sodas contain high fructose corn syrup, which is where all the calories come from: food dyes, preservatives, and other sketchy ingredients. And your soda habit isn't just making you fat, it's also linked to cavities and tooth decay. Some sodas also contain an ingredient called brominated vegetable oil is supposed to keep the artificial flavors and the rest of your soda from separating, and it also keeps plastics flame retardant and is linked to memory loss, nerve disorders and skin conditions. Diet soda drinkers also need to worry about the impact of artificial sweeteners on their health. Soda is not good for a person's health because it contains lots of sugar. Consuming too much soda may lead to weight gain, diabetes, and cardiovascular conditions. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, most people in America consume too many added sugars, which can lead to health problems. Instant ramen. Ramen noodles are a type of instant noodle enjoyed by many around the world. Because they're inexpensive and only require minutes to prepare, they appeal to people who are on a budget or short on time. Though instant ramen noodles may be convenient, there's confusion as to whether it's healthy to eat them on a regular basis. Ramen noodles are a packaged, instant type of noodle made from wheat flour, various vegetable oils and flavorings. The noodles are pre-cooked, meaning they have been steamed and then air-dried or fried to shorten cooking time for consumers. Instant ramen noodles are sold in packages with a small packet of seasoning or in cups to which water can be added and then microwaved. Ramen noodles are a high-sodium food. Consuming too much sodium can negatively impact your health and has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease, stomach cancer and stroke. Anything deep-fried in real life. Deep frying is popular in America, particularly in the Deep South, Scotland, and parts of Asia. A possible reason for its success is because deep frying is so much faster than other methods of cooking. Once the oil is hot enough, the food cooks in minutes. This is particularly good in hot climates like the American South and the parts of Asia, like Guangdong province in China, where it is widespread, because when it's hot outside and there's no air conditioning, you want to stay out of the hot kitchen as much as possible. And since the heat makes a seal in the outer layer of the food, the inside is not as greasy as one might expect if it is, someone did something wrong as opposed to pan frying. In the practice of deep frying, your item of choice is submerged in hot oil or fat, where it cooks extremely quickly and gains a crispy, crunchy and very tasty exterior. Soaking things in boiling hot fat can make anything delicious. A common practice is to take something already delicious, loaded with fat and sugar, and deep fry it for extra flavor. Fried foods served in fast food restaurants are often cooked in hydrogenated oils, which are high in trans fats. Many restaurants use these oils because they give food a satisfying taste and crunch. But they're not good for you. Trans fats raise bad LDL cholesterol levels, lower good HDL cholesterol levels, and raise your chance of having heart disease. Thank you for watching.